I just want to preface this video by saying this game is not a dead game yet. The reason I say so is because there's been other Ubisoft games that have had a previous track record in the past. Let's go over it.
It is time for the sponsored segment of the day. I have not played Season 1 yet, so I'm excited to check it out.
We're not able to really see how many players exactly are online. We can see its rating, its spot within the standings on Xbox and PlayStation within like the top games. And we can also look at things like stream numbers. So right now, the stream numbers are actually higher than they've been recently, simply because Symphony is playing the game right now. So he's literally accounting for almost half of the current viewership right now. It hasn't been this high in a while, put it that way. So I want to compare that to another Ubisoft game, Hyperscape. When it launched June 2020, it had a peak viewership of 466K. And as you can see, July 148, August 24, September, and then look, by October it had basically like fallen off really hard in viewership. And then anytime you see like a higher peak any months after that is because some larger streamer might have been playing it, there might have been a major update, whatever the case may be. And you just look at it continued to drop off. It got a little bit of a boost in December and then continued to drop off to the point which it eventually got canceled about a year after it got released. Now, hopefully we don't wind up seeing a similar situation with XDefiant. Like if we look at XDefiant when it first, so these were some of the betas, 100K, 72K, not bad. And then on launch, the peak was 204,000. Google says this was the peak, 206,000. One thing that XDefiant and Hyperscape had in common was that they were both only on the Ubisoft launcher. They refused to put it on Steam. I don't know why they're being so hard-headed with putting things on Steam. I know they're trying to hide the numbers and everything, but at least improve the numbers. On top of that, I really just think that they need more progression systems in game, more content. That's why I suggested yesterday having something like user-created content could really spice up the game and add just more to do. When I'm using a non-meta weapon and losing gunfights that I know that I would win if I was using a different weapon, on top of getting shot around corners, on top of occasionally having bad hit reg, on top of all these other things, it just kind of compounds and it starts to get you in a bad mood and piss you off. And then it's like, I don't really want to play the game. I'm feeling good right now. I don't want to put myself in a bad mood, so I'm just going to avoid playing. Which is like a sad thing to say because it was really building up my YouTube channel and things were growing at a really nice rate. And then all of a sudden, over the past week or so, things have just kind of steadily gone downhill. I've noticed the decline in viewership on my channel, on other people's channels. I've noticed just a decline in the overall sentiment and everything like that, and just like a whole lot of negativity surrounding the game. Of course, there's still going to be people online, there's still going to be matches to be had and everything, but the potential of the game, in my opinion, is currently being wasted to some extent. I feel like the ball's being dropped. Using content creators is going to draw like their fans in and everything like that and get people to try the game out, but if they try the game and they have the same issues that's pushing everybody else away, they're not going to stick around for very long. People are just going to be tourists for a short period of time, and then they're going to go back to whatever they were doing before. Another thing that I want to point out is that at its peak, Hyperscape was actually bigger than XDefiant. When we're talking about these big billion-dollar companies, they don't care about small hobbyists. They care about money. They care about money just like Mr. Krabs. So keep that in mind. Now, don't get me wrong, I still love the game. I'm still playing the game almost every day, if not every single day, but I can't help but notice all the warning signs and everything. And I would feel some type of way if I just shut my mouth and just let it slide. You know, it would be like if you go to the bar. You go to the bar, you see your boy's girlfriend out there, and she's on a date with some other dude, and you just don't say anything. You know, like, and they're engaged, they're about to get married, and she's out on a date with some other dude. You know, part of you may feel conflicted, like, oh, I feel bad about being the bearer of bad news. But you're a bad friend if you don't say anything. So at the end of the day, you know, everybody's going to feel however they feel. The people who love the game and play it every day are going to be there. But my question would be, what are you going to do when it shuts down completely and there's no game to play anymore? In this day and age, we don't really own shit. We're just renting everything. We're even renting our flesh and bones. We're literally just a rental. So let me know how you feel about the current state of the game. Are you still playing? Have you given up on it? Are you waiting on the next update? How are you approaching this? Personally, I'm getting on whenever I need my shooter game fix, because God knows I can't play Warzone and all that rigged bullshit. You know, they lower your connection and all this other stuff the better you play, just to go and find some player that's just as good as you in a foreign country, so you're playing against foreign fighters. I honestly really just dislike this feeling of having to choose between many different options, where it feels like we are getting the short end of the stick no matter where you look. It seems like a lot of games these days are preying on the fact that the average player is either too stupid or too bad at the game to notice all the things going wrong within the game technically. I don't know if it's a matter of the developers not getting the funding that they need, not getting the support that they need from the higher ups, or if it's simply just a matter of incompetence. They always say, don't attribute that to malice, which could be attributed to incompetence. And maybe that's the case. But I honestly don't know what can be done within a reasonable amount of time to fix this. I honestly question whether or not, if the game released last year with the same netcode essentially as it has now, in many people's words, if it would have, you know, kind of worked itself out by now. Maybe, maybe not. Either way, I hope to see you on the next one. I'm going to wait until there's something actually meaningful to talk about before I make another video, because I'm running out of shit to talk about. Y'all take it easy.